The Center for Disease Control is urging those who have not received a flu shot to get one.
This after a school-aged child in Maine dies from complications with the flu. It is often seen as a disease that takes the lives of the elderly and the frail, but that is clearly not always the case. Marissa Bodner joins us now with more on what you can do to protect your family.
Well, Maine CDC Director Sheila Panett says this was a healthy child in elementary school who hadn't yet gotten a flu shot. She says the child got the flu and due to complications passed away last week. The CDC says it's not too late to get your flu shot, especially during the holiday season when we're hugging and kissing loved ones, shopping, traveling. If you do feel sick, signs of the flu include fever, cough, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle or body aches, headaches, and fatigue. This year, Panett says the flu got an early start in Maine and cases are on the rise.
We had our first confirmed case of influenza A in October, just around Halloween, and now we've consistently been having more documented cases and had documentation of influenza B last week. So it's now considered to be widespread. It's found in every county, but throughout the whole state, yes, we do have documented cases.
The CDC advocates flu shots for anyone older than 6 months old. If you think you might be sick, Panett says get to the doctor right away. And as always, wash your hands and stay home so you don't spread any germs. Kim?
All right, thanks, Marissa. We're following breaking news out of Windham tonight. Firefighters confirmed the Walmart on Landing Road off Route 302 is evacuated because of a gas leak. Now, this happened around 5:15 tonight. There are no reports that anyone is hurt. Again, the Walmart on Landing Road in Windham is evacuated because of a gas leak. We will keep you posted as this story develops. Route 11 in Casco is back open tonight after a serious crash where the driver lost control on icy, wet roadways.
Yeah, that road was shut down between Route 85 and 121 for several hours today while police reconstructed the scene. Now, one person did suffer life-threatening injuries in that crash and remains hospitalized tonight.
Police say the weather is also responsible for this crash in Farmington, where a logging truck could not slow down in time to stop from hitting a tractor trailer. Police say the roads were icy and that the driver of the logging truck was following too closely for the conditions. Nobody was injured in that accident.
Well, some places will continue to see snow overnight. Charlie DePresty joining us now with a first check on the forecast. And Charlie, any chance we will see wet roads refreeze overnight?
There is, especially away from the coastline. Here along the coastal plain, Jeff, I expect temps to stay above freezing tonight, so that's good news. We just have a lot of wet surfaces out there. The heavy rainfall that we had today has moved out. Now we just have some drizzle and fog settling in. We had over 2 inches of rain. In fact, 2.8 inches of rain in Portland. That's a new daily record for this state. Let's take a look at tonight's satellite radar composite. We still have some snow continuing over northern areas. We have light rain and drizzle over southern sections. This storm system will be pulling away tomorrow, but a weak disturbance will continue to keep the threat for rain and snow showers throughout the day. Doppler HD, a closer inspection. Well, yes, whatever's falling right now is fairly light as far as the precip goes. With that snow continuing to fall over northern zones, the Weather Service is keeping this winter storm warning in effect for northern Oxford, Franklin, and Somerset County, and that runs through tomorrow morning. Additional snowfall accumulations from what is already on the ground in areas. There are 16 to 20 inches of snow on the ground. They'll get an additional 5 to 10 at the max there for northern Franklin and Somerset County. A few inches are possible over the higher elevations of the western mountains of Maine and the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Tomorrow we have some rain and snow showers back in the forecast. I don't think it amounts to much. Thursday will be our brighter day and Friday will be our wet day again. So another wind-driven rain appears to be in the forecast here. Now, coming up in a few minutes, guys, we'll look ahead at that 7-day forecast, which actually has a decent-looking forecast for the holiday. A lot of folks want to do some traveling for Christmas Eve day and Christmas Day itself. I think we're in good shape during that time frame. But boy, how about that rain today? Did you have enough of that? Pretty sloppy day.
Yeah, what a messy day. All
Sure
right,
was.
thank you, Charlie. Educators and crisis experts on the Maine Schools Emergency Preparedness Resource Team are taking a fresh look at school safety tonight.
That's right. The group will be looking at possible changes in the way we protect our kids. Our Brad Rogers shows us what's on the table.
Following the horrific loss of life at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut, Maine's Education Commissioner Stephen Bowen wants Maine parents, teachers, and school administrators to look for ways we can better protect all our students in school.
I think the difficulty is knowing what's enough.
Jim Anastasio is the principal of Coney High School in Augusta.
You really have two things that you have to worry about is number one, keeping situations like that from entering your building and once they're in reacting to it. And when you get to the reacting to it phase, then you begin to talk about an armed something, probably a school resource officer.
Here at Coney High, visitors have to get buzzed in to get through these security doors. Then again, Sandy Hook School had just installed these exact same doors. Hardly any schools in Maine have metal detectors, which are used to try and keep weapons from being brought into a school. That's not all they're lacking. Very few schools in Maine have school resource police officers. Coney High School here in Augusta, they have 2 security guards who are unarmed, but the principal here says they are invaluable.
They form a relationship with students that's very popular and also very productive for us.
Part of the school security debate will no doubt include the question of armed police officers in our schools.
Probably last week I would have said no, but things are different now.
Education Association President Lois Kilby-Chesney says better a police officer than arming teachers, as some suggest.
The cost of a safety officer in every school would be astronomical for the state and for the locals, but it is something that has to be considered, of course.
The State Board of Education could push for new legislation and new funding in the upcoming session for new security measures in Maine. In Augusta, Brad Rogers, News 13.
Gun control isn't the only debate happening in light of Friday's school shooting. The shooter's reported history of mental illness has shifted some of the conversation toward mental health care. News 13's Jana Barnello joins us live in our studio with a look at that debate.
Kim, investigators aren't saying much about Adam Lanza's motive or mental state, but there are reports that he was disturbed and disconnected. We talked with advocates here in Maine about Lanza's reported mental illness, and they say what they don't want to happen is that we have a knee-jerk reaction and force through policy changes without a thoughtful debate. One psychiatric nurse we spoke to says another concern is that Lanza's violent actions will lead to mental illness getting unfairly linked to violence.
My patients, what I have found over the years is that they are not ever perpetrators of violence, not at all. They're victims, they're bullied, they're on the margins and the fringes of society. If anything, we need to help them, but they are not any of them would they do anything to hurt anybody.
Here's some information about mental illness in Maine. When it comes to state-funded mental health, over 70,000 people received mental health care from Maine in fiscal year 2012. 1/3 of them are under 18 years old. Compared to other states, Maine does pretty well with funding, ranking second in per capita mental health spending, even though millions have been cut from the budget since 2006. So as the investigation into the Newtown shooter's motive and mental state continues, advocates are hoping for an open dialogue about how they can improve care and access to treatment. Kim, back to you.
Thank you, Jana, and we invite you to join us for a national discussion about gun violence and mental health. We have teamed with our sister stations nationwide to host a town hall discussion. It will take place Thursday night at 7 p.m. You can submit your questions for the panelists involved in our discussion by using the hashtag National Town Hall on Twitter, and you can also email us your questions at tvmail@wgme.com. The entire event will air live on our website, wgme.com.
Well, 5 people are homeless tonight after a fire ripped through a Lewiston apartment building. Flames broke out around 4 o'clock this evening at this building on Horton Street. Fire investigators say a man in a wheelchair was able to escape, and so did a family of 4 who lived on the 3rd floor. Officials say despite the conditions, they were able to knock the fire down quickly, but residents along Horton Street lost power for about an hour. Investigators are still trying to determine the cause.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
All right, welcome back, everyone. What a lousy day today was. Heavy rain at times. Now we have the drizzle. Some areas are still looking at a little bit of snow. In fact, some areas are looking at a lot of snow. We'll outline where that is and when to expect more of it coming up in a minute. I want to start out today with a 3-day forecast. Why? Because I have some sun finally by Thursday. Tomorrow we have some more rain and snow showers. Some improvement is expected tomorrow, but again there will be some on and off rain and snow showers throughout the day, and it will stay cloudy. Temps stay in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees, upper 30s again on Thursday. Our next storm moves in on Friday, and this one, much like today, looks to be a wind-driven rain. Areas that are getting snow right now will likely get more snow on Friday and Friday night out of that one. Hey, what an ugly day. Our Old Orchard Beach Pier cam, that was our time lapse. Seas were angry today. We had a stiff wind coming in off the ocean, and that brought in the warmer air. So you can see the general rotation here. You got that counterclockwise rotation around low pressure that brings in warmer temps. So we're tracking primarily rain and drizzle along the coastal plain. As far inland as the foothills, some areas up in the mountains are still looking at some snow, and some heavy snow at that. So that has prompted the Weather Service to hold on to this winter storm warning over northern Oxford, Franklin, and Somerset County through tomorrow morning. There will be areas in this warning area that are measuring the snowfall in feet. 4-day snowfall totals of 1 to 2 feet in spots here. We'll look at that in a moment as well. Wider view of tonight's satellite radar. Again, we have a storm system situated right in here. This area of low pressure will be sliding out to sea during the course of the day tomorrow, and as it does that, it will take this whole mess out to sea with it. Now, this little lagging trough, just a little wind shift line, will bring more on and off rain and snow showers throughout the day, so tomorrow looks to be an unsettled day, but an improvement over what we had today, of course. Of course, it can't get much worse than today, right, after that heavy rainfall that we had throughout the day. Heavy rain is drifting to the north. Now we have some drizzle and fog settling in. Temps bottom out generally in the 30s tonight, so it's not going to be a real cold night. I think most towns will stay above freezing for overnight lows. That's good news for black ice considerations. Back through the hillier terrain, you may approach the lower 30s, so that's something you need to watch early tomorrow morning. Now, as we go through the day, notice rain and snow showers develop. Our storm's moving out, but a weak disturbance will be left behind. Rain showers mostly at the coastline. A few wet snowflakes may mix in. A mixture of rain and snow showers over the interior, with light accumulations continuing back through the mountains. As we go into Thursday now, brighter skies return. In fact, a nice looking day. Temps make it back into the 30s. Well-deserved sun on Thursday. Friday, our next storm moves in. Another wind-driven rain for most towns. Areas that are getting snow right now will likely get more snow on Friday and Friday night. Additional snowfall tonight and tomorrow. There will be areas into northern Franklin County and northern Somerset County that pick up over 5 inches of additional snowfall. There may be a few areas back in the White Mountains in New Hampshire that pick up around, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches of snow out of that one. So additional snow again through Wednesday here. This is not Friday's storm system. A few inches are possible. Areas in the darker shade of blue. I think it's more like a coating in this area. Back through the presidential range, there might be a few spots near 3, 4, 5 inches of snow here. You head east and north of Rangeley up here toward Carrabassett Valley and also Jackman. These areas in northern Somerset County will get an additional 5 to 10 inches of snow on top of what they already have. So some areas, as far as ski resorts go, are really going to benefit from today's and tomorrow's snow. As we go into the weekend, or as we go into late week, look for sun to return tomorrow. Again, Friday, our next storm will bring some rain for most areas and a wind-driven rain at that. I think we ended as some rain and snow showers Friday night and Saturday. Sunday will showcase some improvement. And Monday, Tuesday, Christmas Eve day and Christmas Day itself look okay, but quite a bit cooler. Jeff and Kim, 20s for highs and lows, dipping into the single digits and teens. And we've been talking about it for about 2 weeks now. Do we have the possibility of a white Christmas? Well, yes, there's a possibility of anything, I guess, but I think it's more like a brown Christmas at this point along the coastline.
Oh, that's too bad. All right. Well, thank you, Charlie.